Hello, hello, hello. Yes, today is Wednesday. It is not a Monday, but I am jumping in anyway because, oh my goodness gracious, there's a lot going on October 1st, 2025 here. And one of the many things that is going on right now is that one of my childhood role models and idols, and someone I really looked up to as a kid who was super interested in natural science and the outdoor world and ecology and being interested in science as a girl in the 80s and 90s. Yes, I am aging myself. Jane Goodall passed away today. And so I just wanted to jump in here and be like, hi, if you are like me and this hit you hard because it reminds you of many things that you thought of and thought about and looked up to in childhood. Yep, I see you. I'm one of those people that's also like, oh, we have lost an amazing human off of this planet for a variety of reasons of what she does and different choices that she'd made. It's just she made an impact on me. And I just want to share. I found a couple years ago this incredible graphic novel by Jim Ottaviani. I'm horrible with pronouncing names. And Maurice Wicks. Great graphic novel. Can't recommend it highly enough. I found it off of the annual Great Science Books for Kids list. So if you're looking for a good resource to bring into your classroom, might I recommend Primates? But that's not the only reason why I wanted to jump in here, because also we can use the reality that a ton of work and a ton of our understanding, both about chimpanzees and about humans, and our understanding of how we can study chimpanzees and understand human anthropology and crossovers and psychology and physiology and ecology and all of the different things came out of Jane Goodall's work and all of the myriad of people that she inspired and worked with and was inspired by. And we can use it to talk about a data concept. Yep, that's right. I connected it to data. So one of the biggest things that we are asked for and that gets looked at and we're asked about is this: what is the difference between line dot plots and scatter plots? So first, let me pause and say, why do we say line/dot plots here at Dataspire? Well, so this thing called a line plot, where we have one dimension and the representations above that axis represent the frequency with which those counts have been observed, is called a line plot in our math classrooms in elementary school. And then it's like, yep, just aging myself all over this slide today. We just magically start referring to it as a dot plot when our students go into middle school because, oh, we need to teach them about line graphs where we actually connect the line. And that line indicates, if we had collected data there, what we would have our best estimate, that data point likely would have fallen. So we switch the nomenclature from a line plot in elementary to a dot plot once we get into middle school and above, or a frequency dot plot, things like that. This is different than a scatter plot, where we have two different dimensions that are both numerical, and we are looking at the relationship between those two. So again, coming back to, we've got this blog post on sort of what is a line or dot plot and what is a scatter plot. What are they each individually? We go through each of them individually. And then what are some key differences between these two really powerful way of visualizing numeric data? Biggest thing being, do you have one numerical value or do you have two or more numerical values? And then we give some ideas of how to teach those dot plots, line plots, and scatter plots in your classroom. But I just want to point out that this isn't just we deal with line plots or dot plots in our elementary and our middle school math classrooms. They show up all over the place. So here is some research done on chimpanzees, yes, in a nod to Jane Goodall, where we have this one numerical value, and then we have the frequency with which we observed chimpanzee seen encountering rate. And then this actually has a categorical, was it a secondary forest or a primary forest? But what each of these dots represents is an observation. So published research, people out in the world are using dot plots, just like published research out in the world around chimpanzees' frequency of prosocial acts in different sessions when sitting down and studying chimpanzees' prosocial behaviors. This is a scatter plot because we have the sessions and then we have the frequency of prosocial acts. So we have two numerical variables. So then we are looking at that scatter plot. And so thinking about, do we have one numerical variable that we are looking at, and we're looking at the frequency of those observations? Dun, 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 line dot plot. Do we have two numerical variables and we are looking at the relationship between those two? Then we want to be leaning in and going with a scatter plot. So for all of you who were inspired by Jane Goodall for all of the different things that she did, I see you. That's great. Nice to be there with somebody else who was inspired by her. For those of you that don't care about Jane Goodall, we chatted a little bit about line dot plots and scatter plots. If you've got questions, leave them in the comments below or always reach out to us at support@dataspire.org. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until I see you again, stay curious, keep exploring, and